Alright, so you want to be a videographer in the year 2026. Well, I'm afraid to tell you it's a little too late. I know there's a big fear with AI taking over the video content in probably the sometime future. But the truth is, it's not today. So what that means is that there's a lot of room for you to grow in the videography business this year alone. People still want genuine content, something that they can relate to, right? And your job is to create. That's all you have to do as a videographer. Now, at the end of the day, you do have to remember, videography is another form of art. So by all means, get your paintbrush red and get to painting. If I was to start videography in the year of 2026, these are the few tips that I would give myself to think about moving forward. And that's one, what is it that you want to do? Now, I know that's a stupid question because you wouldn't have clicked on this video if you didn't know what to do. But what I meant is more specifically, do you want to be a cinematographer or a videographer? They might sound the same, but the truth is how you buy gear and how you carry yourself moving forward and the type of people you come across will vary. And one of the biggest things that will probably change which way you go is the camera that you select for your journey. We'll talk more about that, but let's just say for the sake of this video, you want to be a videographer. So if you were to get into videography, is understand your market, understand your niche. What is it that you want to do? Music videos, sports, commercials, product demonstration, real estate. What is it that you like doing and what do you find yourself being lucrative in? What are you connected to network-wise? Who do you know that can plug you into getting into videography business that also makes you happy? Tip number 2, look into the used market. Do your research. Who's the source? Who's selling it? What the condition is like? And if you need, contact the seller. Now, I would give a couple of limitations. One thing I would never buy used is anything that has to do with power or batteries. And those can be damaged based on the person, how they used it, how they overcharged it, didn't charge it, dropped it, spilled, whatever the case may be. And the last thing you want to do is to ruin something that you spend a good coin on. Powers, power cables, anything like that, batteries, I would always buy brand new. Do not buy those used. Second, your lenses. I would possibly get those brand new unless you know the source from selling them. Okay, if the condition's in excellent condition or it's great condition, go ahead and go in. If it's over wear and tear, see if you can contact the seller, ask them what the glass seal looks like. Because at the end of the day, what matters is the image quality that comes out. And if there's any type of scuzz or scuffing inside of the lens or dirt or grime that you can't fix without opening it, then completely stay away from those type of lenses. You don't want to have to ever open up your lenses. Now the question comes down to, what camera do I get? Tip number 3, there's a couple of different companies, and from the cameras that I've worked with, they each serve their benefit in different case scenarios. Canon and Sony and Blackmagic are probably one of the biggest 3 that I come across in this business. From messing with each camera, this is one thing I'm going to tell you. If you're a videographer and you want to do a lot of fast motion stuff, anything that involves filming with on-the-fly type filming, unscripted, unplanned type filming, like for example, if you're filming sports, you obviously can't plan that. You kind of just have to capture the best as you go. I would stay away from cameras like Blackmagic. Nothing bad about Blackmagic, but it is a cinematographer camera. So you're gonna deal with lack of autofocus, lack of image stabilization. And it may not seem like a big deal, but once you're in the field, it just makes your job that much harder. And I love Blackmagic. I'm actually using one right now, but I will tell you, it does make your job harder. What you wanna do will, I would say, depend on which one you should go for. For example, Canon, in my opinion, probably has the best looking skin textures when it comes to shooting subjects. Sony, on the other hand, is really good with low light. So if you like to shoot anything nighttime shots, dark shots, probably even most music videos, Sony looks really good in that case. Or if you like to shoot like basketball, football highlights, sport-driven content where everything's kind of fast motion, and you want some clean, social media type content, Sony looks really good in that, in my opinion. Sony just has a different eye candy for social media. Versus Canon, it does look good for social media too, but a different type of content, you know, like weddings, things like that. Blackmagic, on the other hand, is like a bit of both, but into a cinematic shot. The reason why I don't put Blackmagic in a live setting, for example, is because of the lack of autofocus, which don't seem like a big deal, but I'm telling you from experience, and yes, I have filmed basketball with the Blackmagic, and it looks superb, but it is a pain to constantly try to manually focus someone driving from a three-point line to the layup. Now, the reason why earlier I had said, do you want to be a videographer or a cinematographer? It comes down to these situations. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be a cinematographer, then by all means, get a cinematographer camera like the Blackmagic. But now that you found a company that fits your niche, now you want to find the type of camera that you should get. Should you jump in and spend $3,000 on a camera, or should you start with something small? A lot of these cameras, like the Blackmagic or Sony FX7 or a Canon C300, you know, cameras like these, they look good out of the box. But if you haven't yet to learn what we're about to talk in the next tip is lighting and exposure, then you're going to cap the capabilities of the camera. It's like getting a car that can drive 200 miles per hour and you just decided to become a racer. And since you haven't learned anything of how to properly drive a race car, you only ever drive it at a maximum speed of 130 miles per hour, not knowing it can be 200. And now, you might not learn to grow faster because at the end of the day, 130 miles per hour in the street is crazy. So you don't think that you need to go higher until you see someone driving your same car and they're going way faster than you. Then you realize, hey, what am I lacking? How come I'm not driving that fast? It's because you didn't take the time to understand how to push the limits of your car. So in this case, your camera. I would go for a camera that's probably a lesser quality. For example, a Canon Rebel T6. If you lit your subject really well, the videos can come out decent. If you were able to master making 8-bit look good without any log, then imagine what you're gonna do with a camera that is of higher quality or an intermediate to professional type camera. Which does bring me to say, do not jump into trying to get a client right away. I would work on something with doing your own projects, something you want to do around the house, film family or friends, things like that. Get comfortable with the camera, understand how it works, understand how lighting works and exposure works. Tip number 4, learn lighting and exposure. I can't stress enough how important this is. In fact, I would make this number 1. But lighting and exposure will be your best friend in getting your car from 130 miles an hour to 200 miles per hour. You want to get the best quality out of your camera, your lighting and your exposure have to marry each other. Lighting and exposure is a complete separate video, and there's a lot to go over to understand on how that works and to master that skill. And mastering that skill will take time and experience. You're just gonna have to go out there and do it, and you'll understand why it's important to maximize your camera. And besides, you want to be able to spend your money on more gear rather than so many cameras. All right, now we want to talk about what kind of gear should you be getting. Now, I know you want to jump in and get something like a Ronin or Zoom crane stabilizer, which at some point, yes, I would say get one, but I wouldn't spend so much money into this extra gear first. I would say work on trying to film as much as possible, and then as you go, learn what would help you more in your journey. You need to figure out what your niche is, right? But no matter what you buy, if you're buying, let's say, a few things at once, I always will recommend buying as many lights as possible. Buy all types of lights. Buy LED panels. Buy kicker lights. Buy dome lights. But get lights, light bars even, RGB lights. Because no matter what, if you're shooting like a music video or anything else that involves a controlled set, and you want to be able to film the environment you're in without sacrificing the quality of your camera. Another thing, I would look into getting some mics. Rode mic are always acceptable. Pretty much most mini tube mics, condenser mics are always great. Another one I use is a Tascam, which is what you're hearing right now. And a lot of times I connect the Sennheiser to the Tascam too, so I have them both on set as well. Carrying equipment. I can't stress enough how important it is to also not only be ergonomical with your equipment, but something practical. you're probably going to be on the go. So I would for sure look into either like a backpack or a carrying bag for camera equipment. Backpacks I found to be a little bit more useful. And then look for a backpack that's kind of an all-arounder. Not too small, but not too big. You don't want to be going crazy with it, but you do want something that is big enough to carry at least a camera and 2 lenses and a tripod. You want to be able to have your batteries and other accessories with you on the go. I've actually learned that the more condensed and neat you can pack your camera gear on the go, the more efficient you will be on the shoot or on set or wherever it is you're filming at, because you run into less issues like losing items, misplacing stuff, being stressed out, overwhelmed when you get there. You want to be able to get to set, suit up, and be ready for action at any moment's notice. Batteries. Whatever your camera is, invest into a good battery. Now, if your camera takes LPE6 batteries, little guys, depending what camera you use, on a Blackmagic, they stay on paper about 30 to 40 minutes. V-mount batteries are very useful. Your camera can connect to them. I will look into a bigger size battery. Those things will last you closer to 3 to 4 hours, which are perfect. There are times where I think I've done 2 different shoots on one battery charge with one of those V-mount batteries. Storage. You want to invest into some storage, and not just for your camera, but probably for your computer. At some point, the more you shoot, the higher the quality. So if you're doing a lot of 4K content, for example, I would definitely get an external hard drive for your computer, something that's closer to like 4 to 5 terabytes at least. Also, I would get as many memory cards as possible. If you're doing all 128 gigs, but if you can, your camera is able to, I would get an SSD instead and connect that to your camera. So that way you don't have to have too many of those and shell out so much money on different storage devices and then have them all over the place and try to keep them all neat. And lastly, the one thing I would tell myself if I was to start videography this year is to get your paintbrush wet and make a mess on that canvas. Because you need to be able to go out there and film as much as possible, get your hands wet, do videos for free, do videos for yourself. It doesn't matter. Get out there and get some action. Get comfortable with it as much as possible. Learn from the best, do your own things, do your own tricks. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just get out there and start painting. It's 2026. There's a lot of new stuff coming, a lot of new technology, a lot of new software, a whole lot of new videographers. Just go out there and have fun. That is the last tip I will give you. And at the end of the day, you're gonna suck when you first start. You're not gonna be the best. You're not gonna come out as top as some of the guys that's been there for 15, 10, even 5 years. But that's okay. Just have a positive attitude and just have fun. Thank you guys. This is Caliprod. If you guys enjoyed this content, please follow me for more and check out my Instagram if you guys want to see more content daily. Go ahead and comment below what you guys liked about the video, what you disliked, or what you had to input. Also, comment below what you guys look forward in this year in your videography journey. Thank you guys. I appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.